Well, I mean, we are at 5 o'clock, so I'd like to call the September 14th meeting to order and start off by approving meeting minutes of August 24th.
I'll make
a motion on that.
I will make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes from August 24th as presented.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Chris Woods. All right, so we also have payroll and the AP manifest. We'll need a motion on that too, please.
I will make a motion that we accept the payroll and AP manifests as presented.
I'd second that.
And all those in favor of approving the manifest?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Chris Woods. All right, so new business, the item number 1, drinking water authority to submit funding application. Drinking water form 2.
It's on the table there in front
It's on the table. Essentially,
We have to
we're
vote for Chris, right? We have to
Yeah.
vote
yes,
for Chris
vote
to be
for Chris to authorize to essentially indicate to DES and the Water Trust Fund that we are in fact going to be applying for funding, and that you are authorized to execute on our behalf. Or
Right.
are we looking for the chairman to be?
That's
No,
how
just the board to authorize us to submit.
Oh, okay.
we do need Chris, or if we authorize Chris, we do need him to come in at some point and sign the form.
Yeah.
And then,
So I'll need a motion then to authorize me or the board to,
Well, it's in your name, so I think it's you.
Yeah, it should be, so the motion should be to approve
Yep.
proceeding with applications to DES and Water Trust Fund, and to authorize Chris to execute the appropriate documents.
I say that.
I'd second that.
It actually says.
all right, so
Chris
I have a
signs the
motion
form
and
you're
it's seconded.
authorized
All those
to
Oh,
in
sign.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Chris Woods. Okay, so on any old business or other new business?
Well, old business, how's working with Mr. Savage going?
We are communicating with him to try to set up a date to have him on site for one day.
Okay.
Look at all the physical assets, and then a second day to log into the computer system virtually. So we're in the process of coordinating with CCS and EII to make that happen.
Okay.
So David will need extensive assistance from both of those folks, so we're just trying to coordinate
Gotcha.
when that can happen.
Sounds good.
It may take up to a day to do the physical inventorying, and he may need to be on and off the phone with CCS quite a bit with questions. And then the virtual day, it's going to be like a whole day of questions for them. So I
Okay.
know they're busy. We're just trying to find a mutual date that works for everyone.
Sounds good.
Making headway.
Good.
Good.
All right, so any other old business or new business?
Well, I'd like to talk briefly about electronic signature of manifest and purchase orders.
Yeah, please.
I'd like the board to consider us purchasing 3 inexpensive laptops, one for each of the commissioners, which would be loaded with the finance software and an email software. The primary motivation is to secure signatures in the purchase order process. We have very, very low restrictions on authorizations for purchases. So, from 201 to 200 to 500, Jason is empowered to authorize up to over 500 to.
200.
Oh, you're up to 200? Okay, so he's up to 200, I'm up to 500, and then you sign everything else for all purchases. And the process at the moment is a bit cumbersome in that he gets them electronically and approves them. They come on to me electronically and I approve them. And then Brenda has been getting them. She takes a picture of them, sends them to you by email. You then respond back to her, and then she checks off the box. The software actually can take the human being out of it, so that when I approve it, it's the system's set up so that it would automatically go to each of you. You simply then indicate by checking the box. It then automatically will come back to Kim, who then pushes a button and it issues a purchase order number. So
Now, isn't the software web-based? Wouldn't we just be logging into the web page or a web-based application? I mean, I'm wondering whether we really need to own.
I can't answer that. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to, from a technology perspective. May not be smart enough to any.
Kim, is it an app?
Important point of clarification there.
No, I think they'd have to have the MTS module.
I think you have to have the module on your computer.
It's not an app.
Okay.
It's not a web-based app. It's actually a software
All
module.
right, so there is a client then.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess if the other commissioners need the lab, I mean, would I be able to just install it on my own computer, or do you really want everything separate?
Well,
there may be a case for that.
When I talked to Don, the case for that, Don, correct me if I'm wrong, is that once we are no longer commissioners, those laptops would come back here and go to the next
I see, right.
commissioner, so that there would be a consistent.
Yeah, I could see the case for that. Yeah.
Well, the other issue, we haven't had any of consequence since the PFAS situation a year and a half ago. But one advantage would be that by doing all of your emails, correspondence for the district on that computer, you eliminate the possibility that your personal computer could be subpoenaed.
Oh, right. Yeah, once again, compartmentalizing, so that machine is only used for water and sewer purposes.
Exactly.
Nothing personal or
Right.
otherwise.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have, Commissioner 1, 2, and 3 computer, and that's how it works.
Well, and the other advantage that will give us is that I've checked with the attorney, and statute does not require you, the commissioners, or the treasurer to be physically present when the manifest is executed.
Mm-hmm.
And so this summer has been a bit of a challenge in terms of the sequence of releasing checks. The statute does say that we should not release checks until the manifest is signed. And so you all have been stopping in as vacation schedules and so forth allow. This would, essentially eliminate that problem, so that all purchases essentially are approved by you as part of the purchase order process. And then
Yes.
the check payments for the invoices are approved as part of the manifest. You sign
Yeah,
them.
it's a more cost-effective way for us to be. I mean, we're saving billable time there for Brenda to be doing that. So
Yep.
I see. I personally think it's a win-win for.
And we'd make sure that, they're set up for each of you in advance. So,
Yes.
I can use it, so it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Could there be a way for the treasurer to be able to sign manifests also?
Yes.
So, would I have the module, or are you looking at what?
So 4 machines, not 3 machines.
Yes, that we could provide the treasurer. Again, we're providing whoever the treasurer is. In this case, it would be you.
Yes.
So it would eliminate the challenge we've had of late is
Right.
that, you're a couple of 100 miles away, out at sea, as it were.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So if there's no objections to that, I'll go ahead and cost them out, and you'll see you'll have an opportunity to see in the purchase order that I distribute to. We'll continue to do the purchase order system manually with you now, up until we get those approved, acquired, programmed and up and running, and we familiarize you with how to use them. So
Sounds good.
hopefully by Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yep. Do we need a motion for the purchase of those, or?
Gonna maybe save money versus the expense of a computer.
Yeah. Say again?
Is it a possibility that could be done on an iPad, an individual iPad? So
I
it
don't
might
think,
save-
I don't think so. I think it has to be a computer.
Yeah,
Okay.
probably Windows operating system.
Yep, okay.
The whole idea is to keep it segmented
Yeah.
from everything else we
Isolated.
do.
Yep.
So it has to be on one we provide for you.
Yeah, no, he was just saying an
You wanted to know
iPad
that
is
we could use
cheaper
an
than
iPad
getting a
instead of a
computer,
computer.
so.
In other words, he would rather have an
But
iPad.
they, at least the modules that we work with aren't supported but for a laptop, or a
Macs.
iPad, I mean.
Yep.
Are they Mac based or just PC based?
PC based.
Okay, that's why they won't work on, but we can look at a Surface or something
yeah,
like that, another
yeah.
tablet. Because that might
Use it
be,
on the surface.
yeah, because that might be
Can-
easier
can
and
you
less
access and give
expensive.
approvals on your Surface?
Yeah,
Oh, all right, okay.
that's my only computer.
Oh,
Okay.
So you need 5 more tablets, 4 more tablets.
maybe cheaper to get laptops.
Yeah, it might be depending on the, yep.
So, but in any
Okay.
event, we'll investigate it as long as everybody's good to go with that.
Yep.
Well, I mean, next on our agenda would be the purchase recs. We did
Oh,
have.
That's
no,
superintendent
reports. We want to know what Jason has to say.
Do we have time? No.
Yeah.
I'll keep it brief.
You see that, Chris? Superintendent reports.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Superintendent reports first.
Oh, superintendent report first. Very well.
All right. So we have, Emmy Latulip is making progress behind the high school. He's installed the new culvert crossing the
Is
brook.
somebody waiting? I can't see that.
No.
And,
Oh, good eyes.
and he is in the process of bringing up the grade to get to the sewer main elevation so that we can start with the replacement of that.
Are we still bypass pumping?
We are still bypass pumping at this
jeez.
time. It's,
Yikes.
knock on wood, it's been working flawlessly.
That's good to hear.
It is good to hear.
shouldn't have
You
said that.
just,
I did update Mike Terrio at Wright Pierce with the existing elevations of the upstream and downstream manholes, and they are pretty flat. So we will discuss tomorrow potential next steps about altering the elevation of the downstream manhole to accommodate a greater pitch along that 300-foot section of main. Right now, it was either completely flat or slightly back pitched.
oh, well, that's not helpful.
No.
Definitely not.
So we are pausing before we do put it back to make sure that there is pitch on it.
So how did that happen? That's entirely separate from the washout issue, correct?
It was a very minimal pitch when it was installed, based on the record drawings that we have. So there could be additional settlement in that area, between those structures, separate from the washout.
Yeah.
But we will make sure that before we do put it back, there is at least a minimal pitch on that heading downstream so that we don't run into issues with water sitting in there or clogging.
Right.
So we'll visit that tomorrow with the engineers. Barry Miller and the well drillers have been back at Holderness this past week. And they gave us an update yesterday that they're hoping to get the 18-inch casing in by the end of this week so that they're ready to install the actual screen and production well. So they are moving right along. They did have a failure of
Very cool.
their welder, so that slowed them down from putting casing in late last week, but they got a new welder on site and they're continuing to plug ahead issues either yesterday or today, so that's been good. Kingsbury, we're still waiting on the truck scale kiosk to arrive. There hasn't been any discussion on the ETA of that item, so that's something we'll address with them as well. And the gate is operational. The gate subcontractor has tested it with the big septic hauler trucks and it's working. So we have distributed cards to all haulers at this time, and we will distribute cards to staff when they are ready to go live. So I'd asked them to reach out when the gate vendor was available, and we'll go live on the automated gate.
Oh, awesome.
Other than that, all of the punch list items for Foster Street and Pump Station 1 are wrapping up. There's one more piece of work to do at Pump Station 1 to modify a second basket so that it doesn't hang up. But I believe that is the last item over there for the pump station. So
Wow,
we are getting there.
Thank heavens.
Yes.
exciting.
And then another item that was mentioned in the weekly update is Plymouth State University
I was
has
gonna ask
experienced
about
a
that.
sewer force main leak or break on the force main on the Holderness side near the ice arena. And they are investigating that further at this time. We have a temporary repair on there as of Friday to stop the leak so that it's not coming out into the ground. We checked that on Monday morning. It is holding for the most part, but it is developing a leak in the manhole again. So they will be talking with their engineers and looking to act on that sooner than later.
Well, this is the area that they've had problems with in the past, right? Isn't this the spot?
I'm not aware of any other problems
Okay.
there. They indicated that the force main in this area was updated in 2003.
Oh,
when the
okay.
bridge project
Yeah.
was done.
Oh, so it goes under the bridge.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what they have indicated. My record plans are showing 1968 was the original line in that area, but it's an area where two types of pipe come together.
Right.
Coming out of the pump station
I
and then
remember
crossing under the river.
Yep. So that's failing where the two types of pipe come together?
Just beyond that,
Okay.
where the pipe is going under the river, so there's a plastic force main pipe, and then
Is-
there's a sleeve over that. So the force main pipe is leaking into the sleeve, but the sleeve is containing it, and it's draining back into that manhole where they come together, and that's where it was coming out of the ground. So we don't know exactly where the leak is or the break is within that line because it's being contained in the sleeve.
Okay.
So there's no way to locate it and dig it up and repair it with an external solution. So they're looking at possibly relining solution.
Okay.
So we'll continue working with them on that.
Excitement.
And I did forget to mention that on the 27th, there's a
Oh,
public
yes,
hearing.
the meeting with the town.
Yeah, the Board of Selectmen conducting a public
Oh,
hearing
Hearing, yes.
on the ARPA funding. And I met with the board via Zoom last night, requested that the cost of the sewer line repair behind the high school be considered for funding, about $140,000. They didn't say yes, but they didn't say no. They indicated there was a public hearing to decide whether they were going to accept the funds. And so I will be there on the 27th, and any of you who have nothing to do, more than welcome to join.
And also the three applications we submitted to the Drinking Water and Groundwater Trust Fund are for Emerson Street, Russell Street, and Highland and Reservoir. So those are the roads that we're looking at for funding from the trust fund. Those are also projects that were submitted to the SRF program as well, a state revolving loan fund.
Okay, so we're just trying to look for funding sources.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Russell Street has a need, because we would like to get in with the town when they do the stormwater there.
Right,
Emerson, as well as another high priority on the town side, as well as ours. And then obviously Highland going up is our top priority. But all three of those roads, the mains date to pre-1940s, so there's indications that they may contain lead, similar to what we found in Highland Street.
right. So it would be good to get them out of the ground.
Right.
Okay,
So we keep looking for gold under rocks.
Yeah, if that wraps up superintendent reports, then we could now go on to purchase recs.
all right, I make a motion, we accept the purchase recs as approved by email.
I'd second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, Chris Woods. I just like to get one bit of clarification. You know, we did have the one purchase rec for $18,000 for the repair of Highland Street after the latest break there. And maybe Jason could just comment on, I'm sure that at least some are interested as to why it's so expensive for such a relatively small area. I suspect it's probably because the sidewalk needs to be repaired or replaced as well, but maybe Jason could comment on that.
Sure. Yeah, so the quotes that we received, I put those listed on the purchase order. One of the quotes was, I believe, $23,900, and another quote was above that.
Yeah.
But this is for the road patch, which is approximately 90 feet by 20 feet wide, so 90 feet long by 20 feet wide, as well as sidewalk 50 feet long by 7 feet wide, and another section of 25 feet by 7 feet wide. So it's a significant area, much larger than what you see is cold patched right now. So there is some undermining, so we're gonna have to peel additional pavement out beyond that patch. And similar to
That's great, thank you.
similar to the sidewalk.
I figured it was, the devil was in the details there, but it just underscores how all the, you know, as we sit back and things continue to break, it's expensive to repair them. It's like the public to know that it ain't cheap to keep patching things together. Well, I think that wraps up everything. The next, we have a non-public session regarding a personnel matter. I guess we need a roll call vote here under 91A, :3, Section 2A.
I'll make a motion, we go into non-public session to discuss a personnel matter under 91A, :3, 2A.
I'd second that motion.
And adjourn
All
immediately
those in
upon
favor?
conclusion of the meeting.
And we'll adjourn the meeting upon conclusion of the non-public.
So we won't be back to conduct more business.
So,
Yes.
aye.
Aye, Paul Sansucci.
Aye, Chris Woods.